What's up everyone, jammysay here back again with some more WWE Champions content. And we're going to do another skill plate review, and it's going to be another of the new releases recently. It is the Let Me Talk to You skill plate. So this skill plate, whenever you make 4 or more pyros, increase your blue gem damage by 300% for 1 turn. It is another ultimate plate, so you will require an ultimate strap to go with it. And we're going to take another scroll through the roster. I've got some ideas on this one. I don't think we're going to have as many people available for this to go on, and I have a feeling some of them are going to be quite janky to put together. But let's start scrolling through and see what we can find. So first up with the Let Me Talk to You skill plate, we are going to take a look at the man the plate is named after, which is LA Knight. Admittedly, this is probably one of the ones where it's not going to be the greatest for him, honestly. The pyros, you can lay out a random set of 20, and then the BFT, you're choosing 9 to make into blue. Now, obviously, it depends where your pyros land and where you can lay these blues out as to just how much you can do. But if you run it with the big boot, certainly turn 2, you can really boost that up. You can lay out the pyros and then increase your blue gem damage by an additional 253%. So that's, yeah, a whopping number by the time you actually do both. And then when you choose the blues to break the pyros, you're getting a nice chunk of damage, but obviously you're only choosing 9. So it's not going to be a lot to pick up on the boosted gem damage. So useful for LA Knight, but certainly not someone who I think would be first choice for the plate. So let's go and see if we can find someone who'll be better. So next up, we're gonna get some smoke from Montez Ford. Probably more of a defensive build, which this plate is going to help with. The jumping enziguri, choose 4 gems to make into pyros, which is obviously going to set off our plate. You've got the standing dropkick to make a 7x1 into yellows, which you'll use to break the pyros and generates protect gems above it, although they are not exactly the strongest at only 10,000. And then from the heavens is a 2x6 of blue, which you will obviously keep away from your protect gems, and the plate will hopefully help to boost that. So again, useful, not necessarily the strongest, but with the protect gems there and the boosted gem damage, hopefully that gives you a little bit more of a chance to keep people down. So yeah, again, third option, still not really found anyone yet who this really stands out on, but we will keep looking. Right, so finally found one where this plate is actually going to get some decent usage out of him, and it is Chainsaw Charlie himself, Terry Funk. Now, he actually has 2 pyro moves that he can use. There's the vertical suplex I've left down here, which makes a 5x1 of pyros that generate power gems. But in reality, you're probably better off running with the clothesline for a 4x1 that make multiplies. You can set that up and then use the atomic drop to choose 6 to make into black. You'll use that to break the pyros, turn all above into multiplies out of strength 5, and then you hit the pile driver to turn a 4x6 into blues, and you use that to cover up all of your multiplies. So with the boosted blue gem damage as well, that will certainly do very nicely. Boosted blue, multiplied strength 5, that should give you a decent chunk of damage for Terry Funk. So yeah, definitely the first one we found so far that the plate works very well for. And let's go and see if we can find any more. Right, so first female for this plate, and another one who is certainly going to be useful for, while not necessarily groundbreaking, Kairi Sane Kabuki Warriors has the sliding D. So you generate the middle row into Snowfall gems that make blue, and then you change 4 of those Snowfall gems into Pyro gems that generate blue. I have to admit, I've never been massively big fan of this move. I always think it's a bit random and a bit reliant on RNG. But it would certainly make use of this plate. You are making 4 pyros, those pyros make blue gems. So I mean, realistically, I mean, you can either run with the Boston Crab so that sub makes multiplies, or if you have a 6-star, you can use the Flying Forearm Smash here and generate an area of multiplies. So you'd run triple green then instead. So you'd lay out your multis or hit the sub depending whichever you're using. You'd hit the sliding D to run your snowfalls and pyros into the middle, and then you use the Tokyo Slam to turn 6x1 area into greens, which will obviously be used over your snowfall and pyro gems. So again, part of the luck here, the fact it's a 6x1, either you need a green on left or right side, or you are going to miss one of them, in which case you're hoping that the pyros are not both on the very left and very right hand side. Otherwise you miss out on hitting one of those. But obviously you will still turn 6 sets of 3 into blue, so it's definitely going to be useful. I don't, as I said, necessarily think it's going to be groundbreaking for Kairi, but certainly another option for this plate. So, yeah, that is our first female, and I have another one lined up, so let's go and take a look at that one. Okay, so our other female is actually going to be Io Sky of Damage Control. And Io is going to be very much more, I think, of a boss build setup for this plate. Obviously, the Pyro Gems are generated from the Arm Trap Crossface submission, and it's a choose purple submission gem sub, so obviously you can't just lay them next to each other, so you have to be a little bit more tactical with them. And if they remain on the board, they will generate pyro gems which modify into blue. So the more of them you can keep, the better, and obviously if you do this in boss, then you can leave all 7 if you just stack them at diagonals to each other. Have to be a bit more tactical if you're going to try and do it in gameplay. Yeah, so you can lay out the crossface, you can hit the Meteora to increase your blue gem damage by an additional 60%, and then the victory roll stomp to turn the entire board into blue gems, which is going to do a nice chunk of damage. And if you are able to put on a La Familia plate as well for the standard plate, then that means once you've hit that, this victory roll stomp completely refills as well, so next turn you can go all over again. So yeah, definitely useful for Io Sky. I think it will be very good for a faction boss. Bit more wary of using it outside of that, but definitely a faction boss build. Alright, so up next we are actually throwing in Rhea Ripley of the Judgment Day, and I'm not gonna lie, this is a very late addition for me. I actually had all of these recorded, and I actually had it pointed out to me from good buddy of mine Godflow, shout out to you, bro, that Rhea actually has a 5x1 pyro move here, which I knew about, but I didn't think would work, because it's a 5x1 pyro that generates 1 turn countdowns, and then the countdowns make gems into blue. So in my head I was thinking that this wouldn't work, because by the time the countdown finishes you will lose the boost from the plate. But he has actually pointed out, and very astutely so, that this would still be a very damn good build for Faction Boss. So you can hit the Northern Light Suplex, you can use the knee snapmare dropkick combo to break the pyros and generate the countdowns, and because you are making 5 pyros and turning them into black, once you've done that you can then swipe, set off the countdowns, and the belief is that you should still maintain the boost from the plate. Now, I admit I don't have that in practice, but that is the belief. So certainly for Rhea, definitely for Boss, and potentially for other game modes as well, but it would very much be no cascade dependent. But absolutely certainly for Boss, this could be a very nice setup for Rhea Ripley if you need blue gem damage. So yeah, definitely a very good shout from Godflow there, and a good one to chuck in. So let's move on to the already pre-planned ones from here. Alright, so I must admit, I thought I was done in terms of the cards that I've got on my roster when I did EO, but I've actually found one more that took me by surprise, and it's Shelton Benjamin of the Hurt Business. So Shelton actually has the 450 splash that generates 4 pyro gems, which will turn into blue gems when broken. So that will certainly set off our plate. You've got the Northern Light Suplex that you can choose multiply gems of strength 5, and the T-Bone Suplex to turn pyros into red, which will obviously refill the 450 splash for the next turn. So you're generating, what, 24 blue gems. At least 6 of them are going to be multi-strength 5. You're refilled for your next turn. Definitely a useful one. Might give Shelton a bit of a boost and make him more usable if you have the plate. So yeah, definitely an option for this, and I think with Shelton we are probably now done unless I find another sneaky one hiding. So chances are after this we are going to go and take a look at what options we have in the unrecruited section. So let's go and see. Right, so first option I found in the unrecruited section for me is actually the Eternal Dragon, Zombie Ricky Steamboat. Now, just having a look through his moves, Ricky has the Flight of the Dragon move here. Generate a 5x1 area of pyro gems, which turn all gems above it into botch gems. You've got the Severed Arm Drag so that you can generate red. You will use that to break the pyros, because I'm assuming, without deep diving into it, that you're going to be generating more than one once you start leveling this up. And then the Diving Wing Slash, so that you turn to... well, I'm assuming this is again going to go up from 38, but at the moment at level 1, turn 38 botch gems into blue. So obviously the Flight of the Dragon is going to set off the Let Me Talk to You plate, and then we use the Diving Wing Slash at the end to generate blues and hopefully do a nice chunk of damage. So it works quite well for Ricky Steamboat, so it's another decent option. Let's keep scrolling and see if there is anyone else. Well, unfortunately, Zombie Ricky Steamboat was the only one we could find in the unrecruited section of my roster that really worked. There is one I will just name drop, which was Pyro Princess Alexa Bliss. It worked for her, but didn't really recycle, so I figured I would just throw that in, and if you want to go and take a look at it, you can. But otherwise, that is everyone that we can find for the Let Me Talk to You skill plate. If I have missed anyone and you find them, by all means drop a comment down below and let me know. And if you are lucky enough to get the plate, I hope that this video has been helpful. But that is going to be it from us for today, so please leave a like, hit subscribe, and share all of the good stuff. And in the meantime, keep jamming and have a nice day.